Hey, we're going to learn how to plumb up this shower. These are the real components to a shower. When you were taking a shower this morning, you were standing here. This was all behind the wall, and the water was coming down on you. So you're going to learn how to plumb up the shower today. Notice that we have two copper pipes here. The cold water comes up this pipe. The hot water comes up this pipe. We have these PEX plastic tubes. These are going to be what connect the water to your mixing valve, and then your mixing valve up to your spout. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, to get started, what you need to do is you need to have your plastic pipes, your PEX pipes, connect to your copper pipes. And there's a special fitting we use for that. It's called a shark bite. Inside of the shark bite, you can see the teeth in there. And what happens is, when you push this on here, watch, all the way, now those teeth bite it, and you can't get it off. Number one. Number two, as water flows up here, it's so tight that water will not come out. And so this is a joint we use. Now, so how do I connect it here? Watch this. I just come and push it hard down on here, get it all the way down, and look, we've made a connection so that when the water comes up, it flows up here. Now, what's the problem? We need to get it into this valve here. And so that's a problem, right? How do we do that? A couple things. Number one, we're going to use this 90-degree connector right here. And what that does is it's going to sit right here inside your pipe. The water is going to flow up through here. It's going to make a 90-degree turn, and it's going to come into your mixing valve. We need one more thing. We need a valve adapter. So this is a valve adapter right here. This screws on to our valve. So you can screw it on. Now we can see, we want these two to line up. See how right now, right about there is where they line up, right there. You see that? That's where we want them. The last thing we're going to do, we're going to take our trusty marker, and we're going to mark where we want to cut the pipe. So, my question is this. Zoom in here. My question is this. We get it lined up, so now we know this is lined up. Do I want to cut it? I'm going to call this A and this B. Do you think we want to cut it at A or B? The answer is A. We want to cut it here so that this fits into the pipe. So we'll slide that into the pipe. If we cut it at B, you're going to slide it in, and you're going to see that it's going to be off. It's too short now. So, question, how do we cut that pipe? We got a handy pipe cutting tool. All right? Pipe cutting tool. Inside of it is a blade. You can see the blade right there. And so all you're going to do is line up the pipe with your marker. Watch this. So let's say my marker was right there. My marker's right there. I take my blade, I line it up right on that line, and then I pinch and turn. Easy like that. Now I missed the line a little bit, but I would do a better job. So that's how you do it. This is the cutter. So what are we going to do? We're going to come here. We're going to line it up. We're going to pinch, and we're going to turn. All right. Almost got it. There we go. So now I got there. I take my 90-degree adapter. Take my 90-degree adapter, put it right in there, and look, pretty close. I'm a little bit short, but I'm not bad. Okay, but here's the problem. When water gets piped up through here, it comes at a really high pressure. So there's a lot of pressure in that water. If I just stick this adapter in there, when the water's going to shoot out and it's going to shoot this out. And that's bad. It's going to be behind your wall. Water's going to go everywhere. So as professional plumbers, we use these rings. What these rings do is they sit right over here. So you're going to put the ring on. Give it just a little bit of an edge there. Push your fitting in there. Now, as a professional plumber, we would use this clamper. And this clamper would go around that metal ring and clamp it down. Clamp it down so much that it embeds the plastic into the metal, and now that's not going anywhere. So, but because we need to reuse this, we're not going to clamp. But I do want you to put the rings here. So your next job would be to grab one of these, make this straight, and then do you think you would mark it at A and cut it, or B? Would you mark it at, here, let's do it. I'll grab a shorter one. So, we get this kind of set up right next to it so we can see what we're working at. Make sure this is kind of straight up and down. In other words, I don't want it to be like this, I don't want it to be like this, kind of just straight up and down. And then my question is, do I want to mark it at A and cut it here, or B and cut it here? So I'll make two lines. One's right and one's wrong. We want this one or this one. The answer, we want to cut it here. And I'll show you why. So again, I'm just going to take my cutting tool, put it on the right line, cut it, and then I can push that in and push that in. But what am I missing? I am missing those two rings right there. So I'm going to grab these two rings, put one here, and put one on the other side. Sometimes they're hard to get on, no worries. And then push that in. So, that is how you plumb up. I just did the cold water. Now you could do the hot, you're going to continue by doing the hot water. And then, we're going to go from the mixing valve. Once the cold water and hot water mix inside of here, now what you're going to do is run a pipe up to your spout. And so I'm going to use a adapter here. You would put that on, make your cut. Remember to make it at the very top here. And then lastly, we're going to put on our shower valve. So this goes in here. You got to line it up correctly. And then your shower head spins on here. That's how you plumb up a shower.